Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tim Meyer, here for the Romeo Sports Recap, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm here with Varsity Wrestling Coach Jim Calley. And Jim, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
And, you had another pretty successful wrestling season this year. You guys, were 26-14 overall in matches, and 4-1 in the MAC Red, which is your conference, which is great. And you had some champions win some championships, some individual wrestlers, and that's always good. What do you attribute all that to?
Well, I think a big part of it was this year we had really good practices. I don't know if we ever had a year that the practices were as focused. So it was a good group in terms of their practice. I don't think the 26-14. I mean, it's a decent record, but we wrestled some of the best competition around.
Yeah, I noticed in the schedule that I was looking in the results and stuff I was looking through was, CC, Fenton, those guys are not.
We don't dodge anybody. So, I think by the end of the year, when the regionals came around and the individuals came around for these guys, I think it helped them get ready.
From a coach's point of view, what were some of the biggest challenges you had throughout the season?
That's easy because we had guys hurt and sick. I've never experienced so many people being out.
Sick, just flu and.
I'd get 5 calls in a day. I got 102 fever. I won't be. I wasn't in school. Just stuff like that. And good thing we had good numbers, so we were able to cover gaps and stuff like that. But we missed a lot of guys throughout the year. So honestly, I don't know if we ever really, really had our full number one team.
Full complement of team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it hard too if they're missing practice and other guys. It takes from the other guys too, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was good that some of the guys got some experience that they might not have got, but.
You talked about tough competition. You're not afraid to schedule tough competition. So, but Ashland, Ohio,
yeah,
what are they known for?
Ohio in general, wrestling.
Yeah,
yeah.
That they're and then you had, but you're successful with a few teams down in Ohio, but I've never seen a Macomb County team go outside of Michigan so much to Ohio to do that. Is it what's the reasoning for that?
Well, twofold really, just to kind of it's a 2-day tournament, 5 dual meets each day. So it's kind of it's a team building thing in a sense, but it's also just to get some tough matches, but against matches that we don't know real well. Because it's like that. Sometimes you have that little bit of fear of the unknown. So, it's just kind of a way to kind of conquer that and get over that. So, when these guys do get to the state tournament and they're going to run into somebody from a different part of the state, they've been in matches against people from different states, so it just helps them get over that little bit of unknown.
And that's, I guess that's a pretty good reason. But come back home here in Macomb County. Who are the tougher teams that you guys face
in Macomb County? So
and in the league, I guess. Too.
I mean, obviously Dakota, that was our one loss in the league. We didn't get a chance to see Algonac in a dual meet, and some of the Yale and Algonac were pretty good teams, in the kind of area. Not necessarily exactly Macomb County, but Dakota was our biggest challenge this year in the county.
You did have a match against Armada or no?
No. Well, our B team did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to a basketball game at their gym there, and
Okay.
they had all these big photographs of these wrestlers. Like, oh God, look at the arms on that guy.
Yeah.
They were some big old boys there. But it looks like you handled the anchor band. I noticed I don't see Eisenhower on here at all. Is it on there?
Yeah. Where is it?
See Chippewa Valley.
Oh, you know what? They moved out of our league.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They moved out.
Well, that explains.
So we
that.
got Utica. Not Utica. I'm trying to look at our.
Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, Chip's in there. Dakota, Anchor Bay. Oh, Warren Mott came back in. That's who it was.
Okay. Seems like you didn't have much of a problem handling them.
They're good. I mean, they're all pretty solid teams, but obviously, Dakota was the one that it was our toughest competition.
Now you have some high standards as well for your wrestlers and for the team and throughout the years. Let's talk about some of those guys that made it and became champions. Can you kind of maybe give us a little insight on these guys?
So, like the guys that qualified for the state this year, you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. And maybe won MAC championships or something.
Okay, so yeah, well, one guy right here right now is Nico Adamo. He was our 106 pounder, and as a freshman coming in, what he did, I think more than anything, was kind of prove to himself he could win some tough matches, even when he was down, and I think that just started kind of snowballing a belief in himself, and then I think that just kind of carried through towards the end of the year. I also think he had a great workout partner in Justin Rizzo. He was our 113 pounder, also a state qualifier, placer, and Rizzo was a he's a 3-year wrestler. He's never wrestled before that. I even had the coach from CC came up to me. He's like, "Hey, why does this kid have so many losses?" I'm like, "He's still learning the sport,
Oh,
But him having a good workout partner like that was.
Did he surprise you this year about how good he did?
We always thought that he was had a lot of potential, but to go from never wrestling, coming into a freshman year and then placing it at the state tournament as a junior in that short a time, that's impressive.
You look for big things from him next year?
Yeah, he's going to be one of our seniors. So, in fact, all of our placers are coming back. Nico's brother Val, he was our 120 pounder, and he was a placer last year. So he came in as one of our leaders, and he just kept getting better and better. Made a couple little tweaks in what he was doing on the mat and stuff like that I think helped him out. But overall, he had a real strong year.
I was kind of impressed with some of the freshmen and sophomores that you have, and even the juniors that are on the team this year. That was kind of a surprise to me. I think if they were decent and had a decent season, they'll have good seasons next year too, with the experience.
We're excited. I mean, we ended the season with 54 kids, and we're losing 6 seniors, but I mean that's a lot of guys coming back. Plus, we have a good crew from the middle school coming up too. So, yeah, we're super excited about that.
Where do you think that interest is generated from? Do you yourself recruit down into the junior highs or get kids started on wrestling, or is it just a thing that's passed along from generation to generation? I noticed a few names that are the same.
Yeah, those are
the legacy guys.
Yeah, those guys are. But I think, I think this helps. But Coach Stabley and myself, we coach football and obviously wrestling too. So we're always trying to talk to some of the guys about giving it a try, coming out for the team, join your peers, have some fun in the wintertime. And I know that got some people. I also think it helps that, Coach Stabley's, they're familiar with him, and he does a great job with that program.
He knows him.
He knows him.
Okay. You also had Valadamo at 120, Bryce Holt.
Yeah, so
guy.
Bryce, he's a two-time placer, and now as a junior, he came in. He got dinged up in the state tournament, hurt his ribs, and in the blood round match he ran out of injury time. But really, I think out of all the guys, I mean, we had a lot of guys had some tough competition, but he was bumped up a weight a lot, and it seemed like it wasn't just bumped up a weight, like he bumped up against good kids too. So he had a tough schedule, but he handled it real well. And then it was unfortunate he got a little bit hurt up at the end.
And Owen Perry, another guy. I think Owen plays a little football, doesn't he? No.
Well, European football. He played. So yeah, he plays.
I know that name. Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah, he's a special kid. He's here too. You talk to him, but he lettered in soccer, wrestling, cross country, and track. So pretty good like that. But he's tough as nails. He had a back injury that took him out of some matches, but he bounced back and came back strong. He placed last year too. He placed again this year. So he's going to be one of the guys we're looking forward to next year too, because he's coming back as a senior next year. And
then Jake Turley, that's I think a legacy name for Romeo, right?
So yeah, so Turley, his freshman year, he qualified for regionals. So that's pretty good. He had a good freshman year, got hurt sophomore year, got hurt junior year, and couldn't compete at districts the last 2 years. And then he finally got a chance to do it this year. And I know he didn't finish where he wanted to, but he wrestled. He had a good tournament. It doesn't show up on the stats, but he wrestled state champ first round. Wrestled him tough, and then he had another tough kid that he wrestled a great match with him too. But Turley finished strong. He had a good finish.
And then 190 pounder Thomas Janes had a tough match against Catholic Central's Kruger.
Yeah, so I think on that one, I think the score is really, really deceiving because I think Tommy had a good game plan coming in, and he's got a great work ethic. He stays after practice. All these guys they all do extra. But Tommy does that. But I think he had a good game plan, and he was sticking to it. It's 0-0 after the first. We started on top second period, and so that Kruger, he got an escape. But I mean, it was 1-0 with 15 seconds left in the second period, and then Tommy got hit in a big throw right at the end of the second period. It changed the whole game. Now it goes from 1-0 going into the third to 8-0 going into the third.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference.
Which one of the wrestlers really surprised you? There's somebody that came out of nowhere. You never thought would ever make it, or didn't think he had much of a chance to make it. Put it that way. Who surprised you the most?
We had a couple of guys I think that surprised. One guy who surprised, who came out as a senior this year. He hadn't wrestled since middle school, but he really contributed well in the practice room in terms of how he competes and how he trains. But he just has a great attitude. Was Joey Sebro, and he was fun for us coaches, and kids like him too. But he was so unselfish. Whatever weight we needed him to go, he would go and do it, and he ended up having a real good season. Tough, strong kid. Another senior we had that kind of surprised a little bit because he didn't get a ton of varsity matches, and he came to our school as a sophomore, so we had him for 2 years prior to this. But then he was Sawyer Klatt. He jumped into varsity lineup. Next thing you know, he's a regional qualifier. So he had a good finish to his career too. So
who's that?
Sawyer Klatt.
Sawyer Klatt.
Yeah, Sawyer Klatt.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah.
Well, good. That sounds like you got some production out of some seniors that came in and they stepped up like seniors probably should, right?
Yeah.
So where do you see the future of Romeo wrestling? Let's just start with looking right at next year.
Like I said before, next year we're super excited about that. The group coming up, we have, we're returning 6 state qualifiers, and kind of like you alluded to, we had a lot of younger guys that got some good experience and they have talent. We also have some big guys too that are younger that I think can make a step next year too. But overall, it's just a good group of guys, and as long as we work hard in the off season, I think we're going to be all right.
There's good camaraderie, and
yeah.
I noticed that most of the teams that I have on here, boys and girls, varsity teams that I talk to, they all seem to get along pretty well. There's no no animosity between them. They actually genuinely enjoy each other's company. So I think that's a good thing. If you can build that in your program, that's half the battle there.
Certainly helps. Yeah.
Well, Jim, I appreciate you coming on the show, and I wish you the best of luck for next year, and look forward to seeing how you guys do, and look forward to talking to you about it.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the Romeo Sports Recap right after this.
Before we continue, here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors.
This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Now back to the show. And I'm back with some Romeo wrestlers here. I have Tommy Janes and Valentino Adamo. And gentlemen, welcome to the show. And tell us a little bit about yourself and your weight class and how you got involved in Romeo wrestling.
I'm Valentino. I wrestle at 120 pounds. I've gone to Romeo since I've been in kindergarten. My dad got me into wrestling in like 4th grade and just been doing it ever since. I wrestle all year round in 3 different styles, and I really like it.
What weight class is it?
120 pounds.
120 pounds, okay.
Yeah.
And Tommy?
My name is Tommy Janes. I started this season at 215, and about halfway through I cut to 190. And I've been wrestling since like 8th grade, and I train with Val in the off season and do freestyle and Greco as well.
Mm-hmm. And 215 to 190.
Yeah.
Sounds like the diet I need to go on. Although I weigh more than 215. But how did you cut the weight, and why did you cut the weight?
Well, so 215 was like it was like overall more stacked, and throughout the season I just started losing weight from all the training and stuff, and I got sick. So I would when I got to like 205, I realized I was too small, so I just ended up cutting the rest off.
So you cut the rest off so you could be at a lower weight class. When you got to that lower weight class, what did you find?
I find that like I could move my opponents easier and score more often.
Mm-hmm. And Valentino, so tell me a little bit about why you like the sport? What excites you about it?
I guess I just like that it's like all on you. You don't have to rely on a team, and like if like whatever you put in, you get out. Like you want to work extra, then you're gonna perform better, and it all comes back to you.
And so, do you have a favorite move that you like to use, or that you learned maybe that?
Yeah, I guess I like my single leg. I get to that a lot.
What is that?
So you're kind of like move your guy, and then you try to get their lead leg forward, and then you like sweep to one side, and then you just get their leg in the air and take them.
Doesn't that hurt them?
I mean,
it would hurt me.
yeah. I mean, I guess it can, but most of the time not.
Yeah. How about you, Tommy? What do you like to?
So
pull?
I mainly focus on like underhook tie out, which I train a lot this off season, and it's worked pretty well for me.
What is that?
I just so I like attack his armpit like with my elbow, and I try to like get behind him or grab his leg, and I just like keep him moving from that position.
And who's the toughest guy you think you've wrestled this year?
Probably one of the Ohio guys, or no, probably the guy from Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made him so tough? Just quick, or?
Yeah, I mean, just overall, he's long and he's just hard to score on.
Okay. How about you, Tommy?
Probably some kids I had at the CC invite. I wrestled the state champ there, and then a Rochester kid.
So, CC's usually has a good team.
Oh yeah.
They're good hockey and good wrestling. I know that.
Yeah.
Not so much in basketball, but is there, when you go to Ohio, like to face these guys down there, you get kind of nervous, or?
I mean, it's just like different because in Michigan, like you kind of know who you're going against a lot of the time, and you go into Ohio and it's just like another face. Like you don't really know anything about them.
You don't have an idea where this thing's coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and when you leave there, what do you feel like? Because you guys had some success down there.
I mean, it's always like relieving to leave. It's just like, but you always feel beat up, really sore after 10 matches, and it just feels good though.
How about you, Tommy?
Like my first day in Ohio, I was undefeated, so I didn't think it was that bad. But then I think the whole season I lost like 6 or 7 matches, and then like 2 of them were on the same day in Ohio. So
that makes for a bad night's sleep, right?
yeah, it was. I ended up getting teched by one of the kids because like I was super sore from the day before.
Oh yeah,
and like I had just woken up, so it was just a rough match overall.
Bad dreams.
And then another one I was leading. So I was leading against Perrysburg, like Marcus Blaze is on their team. They're like nationally ranked. I was wrestling this one kid. I got a 10-point lead on him. And he ended up like, I ended up like taking myself down a couple times, like trying to flip him and stuff, and then I ended up losing the match. Like
you caused that.
No, I ended up losing like 19 to like 19 to 11 or something. It was just a fluke though. Like under normal circumstances, I would beat the kid.
Well, you still got a lot of medals on your jacket, so you're like a decorated war veteran there.
Yeah, this is his jacket.
Yeah, where's your jacket?
I don't got one.
You got to get one.
I know, I do.
You start putting medals on it.
I know, I got to get one.
So, what do you guys like to do when you're not wrestling? What's your favorite thing to do?
Eat, hang out with friends, and just, I don't know, be active for the most part.
How about you, Ty? What do you like to do when you're not wrestling?
Same as Val. Like, we like to play games and stuff, and I like to dedicate a lot of time training. I just recently been making like a training center in my house, in my garage, and I'll have like friends over to train, and just like hang out and stuff.
What does that consist of? Training center. What kind of weights do you have there?
Oh, so yeah, my brother just gave us like a mat.
Oh,
that we're gonna put in the garage, and then we have like a nice squat rack and stuff, so we can just train.
Yeah, and Val, who's your favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher? I Got to say either my math teacher or my science teacher.
Yeah, and who is that?
Mr. Callie and Miss A.
Well, that's good because he's in studio, so that's probably a good answer.
Yeah.
And Tommy, who do you?
My favorite teacher right now is Miss Ganfield probably, or Miss Rhinus. Honestly, Miss Rhinus is probably my most chill teacher.
Yeah. Okay. And you guys plan on doing? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I honestly have no clue.
So I'm not sure yet, but if I go to college, I'll probably get a degree in either like somewhere in like the field of like architecture, engineering,
Mhm.
and then if I don't, like let's say I don't get scholarships or something, I'll probably just go into the trades,
Mm-hmm.
work with my dad or.
What's your dad do?
He owns a tiling business.
Oh, okay. It's well sought after. The skilled trades are well sought after
Yeah.
these days. So
Yeah.
and they plan on building and building and building. So might not be a bad choice, I guess. And your girlfriends, where are they? Are they here?
Not here.
No?
No, I don't have a girlfriend.
No?
No.
Handsome guy like you. How about
Not
you,
me
Ty?
neither.
Your girlfriend's got to be around here somewhere, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No, we're just single for now. Trying to stay focused.
Hey, guys, congratulations on a successful season. And, wish you the best of luck. And we'll see you again next year. And hopefully, we'll have another fine season.
Yep.
Yo, I'm coming to win it all next year.
You got it on tape.
There you go.
I'll be back with more wrestlers right after this.
Before we continue, here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors.
This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Now back to the show. And welcome back to the Romeo Sports Recap Show. I'm here with Owen Perry and Nico Adamo. And gentlemen, welcome to the show. Start out and tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Hello, I'm Owen Perry. I've been wrestling pretty much my whole life. My dad got into it at a young age.
And what classes?
I'm a junior. I'm class of 2026. I wrestle 144 this year.
And Nico?
I'm Nico Adamo. I wrestle 106, and I think I've been wrestling since 3rd grade. My dad got me into it when I was young, and I've just been sticking with it ever since. I really like it.
Sure, your brother probably wrestled around with you too.
Yeah, we started the same year.
Yeah, okay. And talk a little bit about your season this year, Owen. What are some of the highlights of your season?
Well, obviously I placed at states. That was really good. I started off the season really good too. It's a couple good wins against Dakota. That was one of my favorites.
So you were one of the winners in that tough.
Yeah, I had a good match against Lucas Harper. I bumped up to 150 to wrestle him, and then I was down in the second and ended up sticking him, which was really cool, and it gave us a little bit of a lead, which we unfortunately lost in the end.
Yeah. How about you, Nico? What highlights did you have this year?
Obviously, I placed in the state. Regionals was super fun with my teammates. There was a little bit more people there wrestling than just at states. And also versus Dakota. Yeah, I got a win for our team. And then probably versus Adams too. Yeah, I also got a win there. It was really fun.
And what makes you want to go out and wrestle? I mean, what do you like about the sport? What's the
probably I like it like 'cause it's like physical, and like I feel like a lot of people like couldn't do that, like the way I wrestle, and like I have confidence. I have like enough confidence to go out there and like know that I'm like better than the person across from me and like that I can win, you know?
And okay, so you're 106, right? You're not going to stay at 106. You'll probably
No.
move up. Where do you
Yeah.
think you're going to be next year? Or,
Probably 113 or 120, I was thinking.
yeah, you're growing pretty good then. Your dad's
Yeah.
feeding you still.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And what do you like about wrestling? What turns you on about it, or what makes it interesting for you?
Kind of piggybacking off what Nico already said, it's like the confidence. Like, I love a sport where it's just you out there, no one else, no teammates. And it's also one of the most rewarding sports because when you go out there and win, it's one of the best feelings you ever have, especially a big match.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that pinning somebody is just
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's a great feeling. I'm gonna ask you both of you guys a question about people that know that you're on the wrestling team. Okay, do people come up and kind of challenge you a little bit, or poke you a little bit, or try to get your goat? I guess.
Yeah, sometimes football kids think they can come out here and do it, but we've seen it time and time. Come out maybe a week or two of practice, but they always quit.
They always quit. How about you, Nico?
Yeah. And there's kids that are like, they just think they can do it. They're like, oh, I'd pin you, but it's like you just wouldn't. Like, I don't know.
Well, you're at 106, and I'm sure that you probably get a little bit. Some of the bigger kids want to, think you're tough or whatever like that. Do they ever challenge you like that, or?
I mean, sometimes, but it just doesn't affect me,
Yeah. What's your highlight of the whole season?
When I beat a tough opponent, Joey Hahn, in the blood rounds at States, 12-4, and I got a reversal at the end, and right when I got that reversal, it was like it made it 12-4, and I think there was like 16 seconds left. I knew,
You knew you had to beat. What, for the folks out there, kind of explain what is a reversal?
It's when you're on bottom, and there's a ton of different moves you can do to like get a reversal, but it's basically when you start on bottom and you get on top. So like you flip them over.
So you reverse your positions.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Owen? What maybe is your biggest highlight other than the one that you talked about?
My biggest highlight is probably when I won regionals to a kid I lost in the finals at District the previous week.
And what was the difference in the two matches?
So the first match, he took me down twice, like pretty much right away, and I was like wrestling in a deficit the whole time, so he was just in neutral, holding good position. And he was really good at controlling my wrists, so I worked on that in practice all week. So then when I got him the next time, I held him to one takedown, which, I probably shouldn't have let that happen, but, things happen. We got into a little scramble. And when I shut off his offense, because he was really good neutral, I dominated from on top and on bottom.
What's your go-to move, I guess? Best move?
I like to hit a lot of sweep singles when I go.
Explain that.
So it's like a form of a shot. You like change levels and you like sweep to the outside till you're either left or right, whatever you want. You move them, get their lead leg.
Is that a little bit of jiu-jitsu technique?
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. It's a little bit of both. The finishes are very jiu-jitsu-y, but mostly the setup is wrestling.
Do you also train in jiu-jitsu?
No, wrestling's my only combat sport.
Okay. And how about you, Nico? What's your go-to move? What's your favorite?
My favorite to hit is probably like a slide by, because it's just so clean, but probably a blast double. That's like the most fun to hit.
What is that now?
You basically just like, you lower your level, get their legs, you shoot through them, like your forehead's like on their chest, and you just like drive through them.
Man, that sounds like I'm hurting already.
Yeah.
Thinking about that. And so you guys are both coming back next year. Coach seems to be pretty optimistic about the squad next year. How about you guys? What do you guys think?
I'm really excited with everyone returning minus Jake Turley. Phenomenal season, by the way. I think we'll be one of the best teams. I'm hoping we can make a really good run in states. I think we could do it next year, win it all.
What do you think, Nico?
Yeah. I mean, like he said, like we're losing Jake Turley and Burnham. They both had really good years. A few other guys, but yeah, I just really want to beat Dakota next year at MAC for the MAC title, and then before that is even counties. So winning counties as a team, we got second this year. We lost to Elginak, so
Elginak pretty tough then.
Yeah.
Who's besides Macomb, Dakota, is there any teams here in Macomb County that you kind of fear?
Not really.
Not fear, but I mean, that are tough for you?
Warren Woods Tower and Chippewa Valley, and then Warren Mott, we kind of put a beating on all of them. Maybe only giving up 2 or 3 of the 14 matches. So Dakota was really the only one who gave us a run for our money.
Yeah. Okay, what do you guys like to do when you're not wrestling? What is your way to get away from it?
So I'm a big sports guy. I do 4 high school sports and then club soccer year round. So stay active.
How about you?
Just like I do extra, like other practices outside of school practices, and then just hanging out with my friends. I love eating, obviously. Yeah.
And subjects in school, what are your favorite things, and what do you think you want to do when you grow up?
So my dad's a lawyer, and I take a lot of interest in that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm going to do that. And then in school, big team sports guy. I like getting up, moving around.
Yeah.
And then my parents are both teachers, but I don't think I want to be a teacher. I was thinking like entrepreneur, but I don't know. I have a lot to think about.
Yeah, well, you're only in 9th grade, so the good thing about that, Nico, is that you got some time.
Yeah.
You got some time, and things change with time, so you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It could maybe parents could win the lottery, and then you can pick and choose a lot of things from that. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, congratulations on a successful season here, and I look forward to hearing about you next year.
Thank you.
I think you guys, looking at this roster, it looks like you just got some real potential next year.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah. And so best of luck to you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be back with one more word after this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show. For the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer saying we'll see you next time right here on the Romeo Sports Recap.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the Mitt TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer, signing off with a final word from our sponsors.
This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and can even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. That's mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com.